All right. It is going to be Texas kicking off and Tennessee receiving. University of Texas will kick off, and the Volunteers from Tennessee will receive. Tennessee is receiving in the southern end of the stadium. Texas will be kicking off in the northern end. Texas kicking into the breeze. It is stopped raining completely. Referee is Ray McCullough. Umpire Marion Talley. And the head linesman is Gene Badford. And here we go. There's the booth. The game's underway. The Cotton Bowl is underway. It goes back to the 15-yard line. It's taken by Bert Retcheshire, the right halfback of Tennessee. He's up to the 20, the 25. He's knocked down on the 27. It's Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10 in their own 27. Here's the Texas defensive team. Billy George is at left end. Bud McFadden stays in at left tackle. Harley Sewell in at left guard. Junie Davis, he'll be backing up the left side of the line. He's the center normally. Jim Lansford at right guard. Ken Jackson at right tackle. Paul Williams at right end. Richard Ochoa at right halfback. Give you the rest of them in a moment. Single wing for Tennessee. They run out of a single wing to the tag. That's Lasella takes the ball. Hank Lasella fades back to throw a pass. There goes the Tennessee pass, and it's not good. Intended down the field for Vince Cassetta, the right end of Tennessee, and Vince can't get his hands on it. Richard Ochoa, the right halfback, backing up the right side of the Texas line, bats the ball down to the ground, and it goes for an incomplete forward pass. First running play of the 1951 Cotton Bowl from Dallas, Texas. Tennessee has the ball, 2nd and 10 on their own 28. Hank Lauricella in the tailback spot. Andy Kozar in the fullback spot. Single wing formation over to the right behind a balanced line. It goes to Kozar. There goes the buck lateral. Andy Kozar into the center of the line. He keeps it after a fake off to Retcheshire. He didn't give it to him. He crossed the 30, went to the 35 for a gain of 7 yards. That is the famous General Bob Neyland buck lateral. And if you follow Tennessee football, they'll be using it all afternoon long. Where Andy Kozar gets a direct pass from center, fakes a handoff to Jim Han or Hank Lauricella, can hand it off or keep it. It's called the famous Tennessee buck lateral, and it just gained 7 yards the first time they used it. It is 3rd and 3 coming up. Lauricella in the tailback. Hank gets the ball. A direct off tackle play, and he doesn't gain more than a yard, so it's going to be 4th and 2. Harley Sewell, the left guard of Texas. That means Tennessee has to go back and punt. Going back to receive for Texas, back in safety position. He's standing way, way back is Bobby Dillon, their safety man. The kick for Tennessee will be Hank Lauricella. He hasn't gone back into punt formation, but he will. It's 4th and 2. Tennessee, after picking up 7 yards on that famous buck lateral of theirs, gains another yard on an off-tackle smash by Lauricella, and now Hank goes back to kick from his own 25. He'll boot from about the 28. Gets a good pass from center. Gets it up in the air. It's a high floating kick. Waiting to take it is Bobby Dillon. He takes it on his own 25. He's back to the 30, up to the 35, and he's down to the 37, and he's knocked on the ground. Bobby Dillon safety, and here comes the Texas offensive team in. Both teams employ the 2-platoon system. Here comes the Texas offensive aggregation on the field. That's Ben Proctor at left end, Gene Vicacall at left tackle, Bud McFadden at left guard, Dick Rowan at center, Joe Arnold at right guard, Ken Jackson at right tackle, Tom Stolansky at right end. Quarterback Ben Tompkins, Gib Dawson and Bubba Shands at the 2 wing backs, and Byron Townsend in the full. Way out to the right comes Gib Dawson right now. It's Byron Townsend in the middle of a split T, and Townsend takes the ball. He goes into the center of the line. He moves from the 38 to the 40, gets to the 41, and he's down after a 3-yard gain. Powered his way over the right side of the line. Gordon Pulafsky. Left, he's backing up the left side of the Tennessee line as the man who stopped him. Tennessee is playing a 6-man line with 2 men backing it up, and then 3 men about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. One of the 3 is a semi-safety man. He's about 15 yards back. That's Bert Retcheshire back in safety. Split T for Texas, and they split the T with Gib Dawson way out to the right. A lateral back to Townsend. Townsend carrying the ball this time. He comes around the right side of the line. He gets up to the midfield stripe, and he is knocked down on the midfield stripe. Bud Sherrill, left halfback of Tennessee, brought him down. Byron Townsend, fullback of Texas, goes up to the 50-yard line, and there's the first down of the afternoon as the Longhorns begin to roll. They're a 7-point favorite in this ball game. Tennessee Volunteers, who've rolled over 9 consecutive opponents, losing only once this year, and that in the beginning of the year, and then unbeaten. And as you well know, they knocked off Kentucky on the second last game of the season. Kentucky was rolling along unbeaten, were the big favorites to beat Tennessee, but the Volunteers dumped them and thereby earned their way into the Cotton Bowl. Bubba Shands way out to the right. Gib Dawson carrying the ball. He's down to the 40, down to the 35, stays on his feet. He's down to the 30, and he is knocked down on the Tennessee 30-yard line. He came scooting around his own right end, cut outside, circled the end. Doug Atkins tried to tail the play, the right end for Tennessee, but Bert Retcheshire, the safety man, had to make the tackle, and if he'd missed it, would have been a touchdown. Texas all the way down on the Tennessee 30. First and 10, a gain of 20 yards on that play. And the Longhorns are really moving. Many people think that this is the finest football team in the United States, and they think if it isn't, the Tennessee Volunteers are the one who can stop them. And there are those who watch these boys in action who believe that. Bubba Shands and Byron Townsend moving this time. There's a flag on the play. It is Ben Tompkins, the quarterback, carrying the ball, moving to the 25, but there's going to be a penalty on that play. It's an off-tackle sweep which moved outside of Gene Vicacel, the left tackle of Texas. Captain is walking in, and we may have a penalty on this, and we may not. They're bringing the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Here comes a penalty against Texas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. 5 yards against Texas, backfield in motion. Texas loses the 3 yards they picked up on the play and are penalized 5 additional yards. So it's first and 15. They do not lose the down. The down stays as is. First period of the Cotton Bowl game from Dallas, Texas. The National Broadcasting Company and Camel Cigarettes sending it your way. And the score, 0-0. But the Texas Longhorns are threatening down on the Tennessee 36-yard line. First and 15. Way out to the right is Gib Dawson. It's Ben Tompkins back to throw a pass for Texas. There goes a long looping pass, and it's not good. Ooh, that was close. Ben Proctor went high in the air on the Tennessee 20. He had it momentarily. If you heard me take in my breath as I started to say, I had to hold it right in my throat. Looked like he could hold on to it, but he didn't. It dribbled through his fingers for an incomplete forward pass. Camel scoreboard shows Tennessee 0, Texas 0. First period of the Cotton Bowl, Dallas, Texas, jam-packed. Two of the great teams, the number 2 and the number 3 teams in the United States meeting head-on. And that's by the polls as they wound up at the end of the season. Gib Dawson way out to the right, a split tee again for Texas. Normally a man in motion. Ben Tompkins takes the ball, hands it to Byron Townsend. Townsend finds a nice hole. He goes through the center of the line, and he gets back to the 31 before he's brought down by Ted Daffer, the right guard of Tennessee. So it is going to be third down and 11. Third and 11. No score as yet. Tennessee playing a 6-man line, 2 men backing it up. 2 wing backs 10 yards back of the line of scrimmage, and Bert Ratcheshire back in safety position, I'd say 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And that is out of respect for the great right arm of Ben Tompkins. It is not raining. It is a dry field. The rain has stopped completely. Texas down in a split T formation. They've got the end split out wide. It's Tompkins back to throw another pass. He finds a man in the open, throws it down to him. Ben Proctor drops the ball on the 20. Proctor, the left end of Texas, bangs his helmet down on the ground. He's so disgusted. Has the ball. He's in the clear. Jim Cowboy Hill, the right halfback of Tennessee, had gotten way behind him. He would have stopped that from being a touchdown, but it would have been a terrific gain for more than a first down. But Proctor dropped it, so it is 4th and 11. 4th and 11, and Billy Porter, who had the bad luck in the Oklahoma game, will come in and probably kick for Texas. Let's see what they're going to try. They'll probably kick for the coffin corner. It is 4th and 11 from the Tennessee 31-yard line. And Billy Porter is standing back on the 45. He'll kick from about the 43, and he'll angle for the corner. He does. He boots from the sideline for the sidelines. The ball goes down. It's down into almost to the end zone. It rolls into the end zone. Ooh, that was close. It was just rolling end over end so lazily it could have stopped on the 1-yard line, but it didn't. So it's an automatic touchback, and the Volunteers take over. They stop Texas after Texas came all the way up the field, and it is Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Single wing to the right. The Tennessee Volunteers have got their offensive lineup back. You're not going to give it to you every time. Hank Loricello in the tailback. He's going outside his own right end. He's up to the 25, the 30, he's into the clear, the 35, the 40, he's down to the 45, the 50, down to the 45, he's being hemmed in on the 43, gets away again, he's down to the 35, he's still on his feet, the 30, down to the 25, he's still running, he's down to the 20, reverses his field once more, the 15, the 10, and he's finally knocked out on the 5-yard line. Hank Loricello. Went 85 yards for Tennessee, and time is out now. Hank Loricello went 85 yards. He started on his own 5. He zigzagged all the way up the field. He was almost out of bounds on 2 occasions. It looked like they had him pinned against the sideline. Each time he did a tightrope act, stayed in bounds. And the 30, it looked like surely the whole Texas team had him. He squirmed out of their grasp. He went down to the 5, and Harley Sewell finally got him. I'm telling you, this is really the time to light up a Camel. Won't you join me, fans, on that? I think you should. It is going to be Tennessee's ball, 1st and 5 to go for the first touchdown of this ball game if we can get it. Believe me, wait till you see that run in the newsreel. That was a thriller. He did a tightrope back down the sidelines that would have made any tightrope walker in the world jealous. Then when he came to the middle of the field, he broke into the clear at about the 50-yard line. He started zigzagging on the 40. The entire Texas team bore down on him since he was zigzagging and they were running straight. They could overtake him. They hit him from behind on about the 40. Somehow he managed to elude the grasp of about 4 Texans. He completely reversed his field, spun on a dime, handed them 8 cents in change, cut out towards the center of the field, again burst into the clear at the 25. He eluded about 3 more men, got down to the 5, and he's gone out of the ball game, and Harold Payne has taken his place. It's Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10, and Harold Payne is in the tailback. Hank Loricello, who just made that run, is out of the ball game. Payne is carrying the ball, and he's hit on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't gain. He goes down to about the 4.5, maybe a half a yard gain. Bud McFadden, Texas's All-American left tackle, stops him. That was the greatest run I have seen this year and one of the greatest I have ever seen in my life. He was stopped no less than 3 or 4 times. Hank Loricello, 85 yards on a twisting, spinning run that you're going to have to see in the newsreels to believe. It just looked incredible. It looked like he must be stopped about 4 times. Each time he spun out of everybody's grasp. Harold Payne again in the tailback. Ball goes to Harold. He's going up the left side of his line. He is stopped on the 3-yard line. Junie Davis backing up the left side of the Texas line. Belts him down to the ground, and belts is the word. He hit him and hit him hard. They took out Hank Loricello as soon as he made the long run, and in his place is Harold Payne playing the tailback spot out of the Tennessee single wing. It's 3rd and 3. That was as great a run as I will ever see, or anybody else. I just hope I described it for you, and you got the thrill too. It was magnificent. Twisting, squirming all the way down the field. He was never really in the clear. It's back to Payne again. He's going out around the right side of the line. He's circling the end, and he's brought down on the 5-yard line for a 2-yard loss by Bobby Dillon. Safety man for Texas. Listen to this crowd. Bobby Dillon, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I'm going to say it anyways. Boy plays with one eye. He only has one eye. The safety man for Texas. Let's see who comes in now. It is still Payne, Harold Payne. It is 4th down, 5 yards to go. Tennessee has made nothing since they went down to the 5-yard line and picked up 2 and lost it. Here comes 4th and 5. It's Harold Payne carrying the ball. He throws a pass into the end zone. It's a touchdown for Tennessee. Burt Reichenbach takes it, and Tennessee has scored. Harold Payne threw that. John Rubble, left end of Tennessee, caught it in the end zone, and the Tennessee Volunteers are leading by 6 points. They will now try to convert for the extra point. And a pass does it where they can't go through the ground. And the underdog Volunteers are out in front, 6-0. Johnson will hold, and Shires will kick. Shires, that reminds me of a great player. Used to play for the Tennessee Volunteers, Abe Shires. All right, here comes the pass from center. The kick is up in the air, and it is good. 7-0. Let's light up a Camel while we pause briefly for station identification. Incidentally, Shires, who kicked the extra point, is the younger brother of Abe Shires, who's here watching the ball game. Reichenbach kicks off for the Volunteers. The ball goes back to the Texas 5. Byron Townsend takes it on the 5. He's up to 10, the 15. And he gets away from one man, stays on his feet. He's up to the 20, squirms away from another, goes to the 30, and he's knocked out of bounds on the Texas 30-yard line. Roy Smith, right tackle of Tennessee, knocks him out of bounds. And somebody is injured on the play. First injury we've had this afternoon. Somebody is injured on that play, and we'll get that for you in just 1 second. My, looking down on this Cotton Bowl reminds me of some of the most thrilling football games I have ever seen or ever hope to see in many, many years of broadcasting. I'll just cite a couple right now. Texas Christian, Southern Methodist. Remember that 4 years ago when TCU was leading 7-0 with a minute to go, and Doak Walker went the length of the field to tie it up and put SMU in the Cotton Bowl? And then the year later when Texas Christian again was leading SMU 19-12 with 1 minute left to play. And I just got through saying that a gentleman by the name of Gil Johnson, who had gone in the ball game at fullback, never ran. He passed, and they would now be using him to pass since there was only a minute left, whereupon Gil Johnson ran the ball 40 yards up the field and didn't pass and put SMU in contention. And Mr. Doak Walker again took it over, and SMU tied that one up 19-19 with seconds remaining. And then who can ever forget the most thrilling of all, the Southern Methodist Notre Dame ball game in the same Cotton Bowl a year ago. That was a thriller. 27-20 was the final score, with Mr. Kyle Rote making Notre Dame have as busy an afternoon as the Irish have ever had. All right, back into the ball game we are right now. Bubba Shands at right halfback for Texas. And Ben Tompkins right under the center and a split T. Hands it off to Gib Dawson. Dawson fakes the pass, runs the ball, and gets maybe 1 yard as he goes outside his own right tackle. The Camel scoreboard shows Tennessee 7, Texas nothing. Southwestern Conference champions. They beat everybody in the conference this year, and that is no mean trick when you think there isn't a pushover in that conference. Gib Dawson way out to the right. It is Byron Townsend in the center of the line, and he goes for no gain. Ben Tompkins faked the handoff to Gib Dawson, instead gave it to the big burly fullback. 193 pounds is what he's down on the program. I would hazard a guess that he weighs at least 10 pounds more than that. Somehow these colleges have a way of underestimating the weight of their players. Why, I will never know. They don't fool anybody, but they all do it. I'm sure that Townsend goes over the 200-pound beam, but whatever it is, he came through the center of the line with the power of an express train, and he picked up about 1.5 yards before Billy Jasper, who backs up the right side of the Tennessee line, hauled him down. Looks like it's going to be a maybe. A Ben Tompkins on a quarterback sneak. I thought it was going to be a kick with Byron Townsend retreating rather. And Dick Rowe in the center looking like he was going to make a long pass back to him. Instead, Ben Tompkins, the quarterback, just snuck down behind him, grabbed the ball from underneath his legs, and plowed on right through the center of the line and picked up about 7 yards. But there is a flag on the play. So with 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first period of the world-famous Cotton Bowl on New Year's Day, score is Tennessee 7, Texas nothing. And the referee is in talking to the captain of the Texas team, which means that the penalty is going to be against Tennessee, and it's 5 yards offside on the Volunteers. Gib Dawson way out to the right on a split tee for Texas. Ben Tompkins hands off to Byron Townsend, and I think Townsend went just about for a first down. He ran to the 38, and I think you may have had to go to the 39 for a first down, but it makes a great deal of difference whether he did or didn't, because it's going to bring up the 4th down. If he didn't do it, they'll probably have to kick since this is an early stage in the ball game. Bill Pearman, the left tackle of Tennessee, is the man who stopped him. Billy Porter is running on the field, which means that Texas does not think they made a first down. Billy Porter back. It is 4th and less than a yard to go for Texas, and either they're going to boot or they're going to fake it, one or the other. Apparently they're going to kick. Porter boots it. He gets it up in the air. Waiting to take it is Bert Retchachar. He is standing back on the Tennessee 20. The ball bounds on the 25 and then starts back up the field towards Billy Porter, the boy who kicked it. So it is touchdown by All-American left tackle Bud McFadden of Texas. And it's Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10 on the Vols 27. A buck lateral with Andy Kozar carrying for Tennessee, and he moves the ball up to the 30-yard line, about the 31. And he's hit down on the 31 after about a 3-yard gain. Jim Lansford, the right guard of Texas, stops him. Score is 7-0. Radio Tokyo is carrying the game. The BBC is picking it up. And, well, it's literally going around the world, into the GIs everywhere, wherever they are. I know your New Year's wasn't what it might be. We're going to have a penalty right now. Unnecessary roughness called against Texas, cost the Longhorns 15 yards. Well, it set the touchdown up for Tennessee in the tailback. There's a fumble in the Tennessee backfield, and Laricella goes back and falls on it. Hank Laricella goes back and falls on the 37. So let me see. The ball was on the 46. It's now back on the 37. That's a loss of 9 yards on that play. Don't answer your phone. That's ours on the phone booth. We'll get that bell discontinued. Single wing to the right. A balanced line. The famous Neyland formation. Bob believes in these single wings, and he runs them. Laricella again, almost breaking into the clear. He crosses the 40, gets up to the 45, and stumbles. He started out to the right on what looked like a wide sweeping end run. His interference went way wide, but he cut back and came inside his own right tackle. And that is something to do when you consider that he was outside of his own right end when he spun back. And he moved inside his right tackle. So he cut back a good 5 to 7 yards and then picked up about 7 yards, almost 8 yards, so it's 3rd and 11. Tennessee's ball. Camel scoreboard, Tennessee 7, Texas nothing. First period of the Cotton Bowl game, 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played. Ball goes back to Andy Kozar on that buck lateral. He fakes a handoff, keeps it himself. He goes up to about the 48-yard line and is brought down on the 48 by Jack Barton, who's backing up the left side of the Texas line. Texas is playing a 5-3-2 defense. And back into safety position for Texas goes Bobby Dillon because it's 4th down coming up and 9 yards to go. Well, make it 8 yards to go. Tennessee's ball. And Hank Laricella goes back into punt formation. What a beautiful run that boy made. Really something to rave about. Bobby Dillon back in safety, standing back on the Longhorns 10. From the Vowels 40, Lauricella boots it. It's up in the air. He gets it away. He angles for the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds on approximately the Texas 18 or 19-yard line. Just about the 18. So it will be Texas ball, 1st and 10, and the Longhorns take over, and their running attack has been well bottled up by a very able defensive volunteer team, which has come south from Tennessee and is really making everybody from Tennessee, who I'm sure is listening to the broadcast, extremely proud of the way they're playing. And this stadium, as you know, is well filled with Texans in Dallas. They haven't had much to yell about, but they may before the afternoon is over. Bubba Shands carrying the ball, the right halfback of Texas. He flung himself through the air. He moved over his own left guard. He crossed the 20-yard line. He picked up about 2.5 yards, so it's 2nd and 7.5. Frank Holohan, the left guard of Tennessee, is the man who stopped him. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first period, and the Camel scoreboard shows the score Tennessee 7, Texas nothing. Underdog Tennessee leading Texas by 7 points. Gib Dawson way out to the right on a split tee in motion, and it's Ben Tompkins back to throw a pass from his own 10. He flings it down the field, and it's not good. Intended for Gib Dawson. Dawson racing up the field. He tried to stay in bounds, go high in the air. He was torn between his desire to catch the pass and to stay in bounds, and he looked like a corkscrew as he squirmed up in the air trying to get his mitt on that hand. There's a flag down on the field on that. We may have a penalty. There's a red handkerchief down on the field, but it's being picked up, and apparently there's going to be no penalty. But the pass was incomplete. So it is 3rd and 7, and here comes Texas back to the line of scrimmage. Gib Dawson way out to the right again. Apparently Texas believes they can't gain through the ground. They haven't been able to today. It's a valiant Tennessee line that's stopping him. It's a lateral to Townsend. Townsend bulls his way to the 24-yard line. He's brought down on the Texas 24 by Bill Perman and by Bud Sherrod. There's a tremendous roar going up from the crowd as they believe there was a fumble on the play. Actually there was, but I'm sure the whistle had blown. There's a tremendous conference going down there. And here comes a penalty of 15 yards against Tennessee. Not only are the whistle blown, but Tennessee has called unnecessary roughness. Texas got it a moment ago. Now Tennessee gets it. The Volunteers are penalized 15 yards, and that gives Texas a first down on their own 39-yard line. The entire Tennessee team is surrounding the referee and complaining about the penalty, but there isn't much they can do. He just shakes his head, puts the ball down. He being Mr. Ray McCullough of Texas Christian University. And it is Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 39. Dawson way out to the right. Ben Tompkins back to throw a pass. Gets away from one man. He may have to run with the ball. He's back to the 35, and he's running out of bounds on the 39. He is running on the 39. He just about got it back to the line of scrimmage. He was looking desperately for a man to fling it to. Couldn't find anybody in the open, and finally ran it himself, and he got it back to the line of scrimmage. He'd retreated about 10 yards. Ted Daffer, the right guard of Tennessee, just badgered him to death and finally forced him out of bounds. Bubba Shands way out to the right, and so is Ben Proctor for more than a split team. It's a fake pass, but it's a handoff to Gib Dawson. Dawson goes past the 45. He goes over his own right guard, goes to about the 47, and he is brought down almost up to a first down. It'll be 3rd down coming up and 2 yards to go with 2 minutes and 30 seconds of playing time remaining in the first period, and the Camel scoreboard shows that it is Tennessee 7, Texas nothing. Texas now beginning to show its vaunted offensive power. It is not raining. There is moisture in the air, but it is, shall I say, a precipitation. It is not coming down in raindrops, if you can follow that. Bubba Shands way out to the left. Ben Tompkins right down behind his center. Dick Rowan, Byron Townsend, the fullback spot. It's Tompkins back to throw a pass. He flings it down the field, and it's not good. Intended for Ben Proctor. Left end of Texas, incomplete. Proctor was standing down on the 35, and Jim Cowboy Hill, right halfback of Tennessee, went high in the air. And he brought it down. Hauled it and viciously knocked it down to the ground for an incomplete pass. Billy Porter coming in, rather, to do the kicking for Texas. And he will boot and Tennessee will receive. And we have 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining to be played in the first period. And the score is 7-0. Tennessee leading Texas. Bert Richardshire back in safety position. He is standing back on the Vowel 15-yard line. And Texas goes into a punt formation with Billy Porter standing in his own 32. He'll boot from the 35. There's a pass from center. It's a good one. He takes a step forward, kicks. Ball is up in the air. Bert Richardshire runs over, lets the ball bound. It comes down to him on the 15. He lets it go by. It goes down to the 10. It goes down to the 5. It goes down to the 4. And it stops on the 3. Hey, the Volunteers are in trouble. It's their ball, 1st and 10 on their own 3-yard line. A beautiful kick by Billy Porter. Bobbles them up, and Tennessee has a first down on their own 3-yard line. Let's see how they're going to squirm out of this one if they can. Billy Porter just kicked 70 yards. He kicked from the 35, and it wound up on the Tennessee 3. Bobby Dillon goes back for a quick kick. He's the safety man for Texas. Hank Loricella standing in the rear of the end zone in punt formation for Tennessee. Apparently the Vols are going to get rid of it. They're not going to gamble on it down there. They boot. It's coming up the field. Bobby Dillon's waiting for it on the Tennessee 45. He's got it. He's come back down the field. He's down to the 40. His interference is out in front of him. And he is knocked down on the Tennessee 37. Hey, that's hard playing down there. About 3 men hit him and hit him hard. So Texas has its first scoring opportunity of the day. They've crossed the 50-yard line. They're in Tennessee territory, and that's the first time they've been there. Camel scoreboard, Tennessee 7, Texas nothing. And Texas, for the first time today, is in Tennessee territory. All right, Texas now. 1st and 10 on the Tennessee 37-yard line. A handoff to Gib Dawson. He goes into the center of the line, and that big burly Tennessee line throttles him. He gained about 2 yards. He moved to the 35, and he was stopped by Bud Sherrod, left end of Tennessee. Bud Sherrod and Bill Perriman, Ted Daffer were all in to make the stop on the play. Out to the left on the split tee again goes Bubba Shands. He's the right halfback of Texas, but he's running out of the left spot. Byron Townsend carrying the ball, and he stopped just short of the 30-yard line. Byron Townsend carrying the ball, and he went up to the 30-yard line. Bubba Shands way out to the right. It's Ben Tompkins back to throw a pass for Texas. There goes a pass down to the 20, and it's almost caught, but no. Tom Stolansky goes high in the air, has it on the 20, and drops it. Twice today, Texas has had a good chance to get down there, and both times they have missed. This is their second time deep, but each time they have had a kick. Bud Sherrill, left halfback of Tennessee, knocked that down. Only 10 seconds remaining to be played. 5 attempts on forward passing by Texas today, and none have been complete. It is 4th and 4, and if you were the Texas quarterback, what would you do? You got the ball on the Tennessee 30-yard line, 4th and 4, and your ground game has not been consistent. Would you boot for the coffin corner to make Tennessee kick it back to you, or would you run for the 4 yards or try to pass? It's Billy Porter in to punt. He's in a kick formation. This could be a fake, but I don't think so. He boots for the coffin corner. He angles the ball, and it goes out of bounds on about the 10-yard line. Just above the 10-yard line, so it's Tennessee's ball with 7 seconds remaining to be played in the first period. Tennessee 1st and 10, and according to General Neyland's philosophy, I imagine that Tennessee again will kick it back up the field. They don't take chances down deep in their own territory. Bob Neyland is a conservative football coach. He does not believe in gambling unnecessarily. He's got a 7-point lead, and of course a fumble deep in his own territory could prove to be disastrous. They may gamble a little better here than they did on the 3. They've got it on their own 10.5. It's Hank Loricella on a single wing to the right. Bobby Dillon is back in a semi-safety position. It's a buck lateral with Richishar carrying the ball, and he is stopped on the 11-yard line. A buck lateral, Andy Kozar on a handoff to Bert Richishar. Richishar came back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all he got back to. And there is the end of the first period. And at the end of the first period, ladies and gentlemen, for that good mild cigarette, here is Bob Vanderbender. Dallas, Texas, the Cotton Bowl, and they all wish you a Happy New Year. Loricella back into a punt formation. I knew Mr. Neyland would not monkey around with that ball too long back there. It's a fake kick, and it winds up on a forward path with Loricella throwing it out to Andy Kozar, and Kozar is spilled out of bounds on the 12-yard line. Loricella fakes a kick, brings his foot up in the ground, and there is a flag on the play. And Bob Neyland is off the bench like a shot. He didn't like that one at all. He gets up and he looks down on the sidelines, and his own team is looking over at him now. And I don't think, knowing Mr. Neyland, that he wants to gamble too deep in his own territory. Bob doesn't play that kind of a game. Here's a penalty against Tennessee, illegal use of hands. They would be penalized 15 yards, but they are not 15 yards away from the goal line. You can't penalize them into the end zone, so they're penalized back to the goal line, and then there's one pace taken away from the goal line, which is the rule. So Tennessee winds up, thanks to a 15-yard penalty, unnecessary or illegal use of hands. They have the ball on their own 1-yard line, and that is what got Neyland up off the bench. Loricella stands in the rear of his end zone, and it's almost blocked. He just gets it away. It comes up the field. It only comes to the 7-yard line, and I think Tennessee recovered their own kick. Hold on. Hold everything. A Tennessee man, Johnny Grubble, the left end, got that kick. Whether they're going to give it to him or not, they are ruling that Don Cunningham, the left halfback of Texas, got it. Johnny Grubble had it and couldn't hold it. The kick was bobbled in the end zone. It barely came across the goal line. It went high into the air. The left end of Tennessee got his hands on it. He couldn't hold it. A Texas man did hold it. It's Texas ball on the Tennessee 8-yard line, and Neyland is fit to be tied. He never wants those teams to fool around down in the end zone. And this one did, and they're in a hole as a result. It's Texas ball, 1st and 7, a goal to go on the 7-yard line. By Townsend, the fullback of Texas, goes bowling into the center of the line, and he pulled it to the 6. Billy Pearman, the left tackle of Tennessee. I started to talk about another coach here today. Carl Snavely lost a good part of his ball game. He was known as a sideline player when they did away with the sidelines, and now the minute you get within 20 yards of the sideline, they move it out. Snavely had a great sideline game, and where other teams didn't play the sideline, he did. Neyland is famous for his precision and famous for the fact that he doesn't monkey around deep in his own territory. By Townsend in the tailback this time, or in the middle of a split T. Bubba Shands, the right halfback of Texas, carries and gains nothing. And the Tennessee volunteer line, stung to a fury by that bad break which went against them. First a 15-yard penalty, then a partially blocked kick which they thought they'd recovered, only to find out they didn't. And I believe time is going to be taken out. I think it is time being taken out right now. Referee has walked in to see whether it is. Time is called by Tennessee. Tennessee is leading 7-0, but Texas is down now on the 5 thanks to the fact that By Townsend just drove through the center of the line for 2 yards. Roy Smith, the right tackle of Tennessee, stopped him. And it is coming up 4th down, 5 yards to go. Texas ball, and history is repeating. Score is 7-0. Tennessee was in the exact same spot a few moments ago. They had it 4th and goal to go, 5 yards to make, and they made it by a forward pass. Now it's Texas ball, 4th. Goal to go, 5 yards to make, and what will they try? Will they try a forward pass? Tennessee did, and they made the 5 yards. It's a split T and a big split with the ends wide. Bubba Shands way out to the left in motion. Right down behind the center is Ben Tompkins. Tompkins hands off to By Townsend. Townsend goes down and into the end zone. He scores for Texas. It's 7-6 now. Tennessee over Texas. But here comes Texas' chance to tie it up. And after this, we're going to have a station break. It'll be Ben Tompkins to kick and Dan Page to hold. And 19 out of 20 this year. This kid has made 19 out of 20. He's only missed 1 out of 20 tries. I hope I'm not jinxing him by saying that. 7-6. And here comes Texas. Try for conversion. The kick's up in the air. And it is good. It's a 7-7 ball game. It's all new in Dallas. Let's light up a Camel while we pause briefly for station identification. Johnny Adams will boot it off. Texas kicking, Tennessee receiving. 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half. There goes the kick. It goes back to the Vols 5. It's taken on the 4 by Harry Payne, Herky Payne. He's back to the 10, the 15, and he's spilled on the 15. Ooh, that's an understatement. Spilled. He was hit by Junie Davis. That's his name, June Davis, J-U-N-E, a girl's name. But lest you think there's anything girlish about Junie, I would hate to be hit like he just hit the Mr. Herky Payne. June Davis has a sister whose name is May. So the sister is May and the brother is June, and you can take it from there. But this guy is 6'2" of football ability and can really play. 193 pounds and a whale of a guy. June Davis just made the tackle for Texas. Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10, their own 15. A fumble in the Tennessee backfield. It is finally picked up by Andy Kozar back on the 8-yard line, and he's spilled immediately by Ken Jackson, the right tackle of Texas. And Tennessee's in trouble again. And Neyland's off the bench. He doesn't want him to monkey around. Get rid of that ball. He's off the bench. The last time he got off the bench, they didn't take his advice. They shook off his play, and they got themselves into a jam from which they never got out. And they are now on another one. It is their ball on their own 8-yard line, and I think time is called. Time is called right now. Rosello back in punt formation, but Tennessee is going to gamble again, and they try through the center of the line, and there is a fumble. There is a fumble on the Tennessee 8-yard line. Who recovered, I do not know. There's a pileup on the 8. and we will have to let the referee untangle everybody and see who got that ball. Play is back in. It was Lauricello on a pile drive into the center of the line. He picked up absolutely nothing. He fumbled the ball as he hit the line of scrimmage, but apparently he recovered. And, well, I can't tell you what Mr. Neyland is saying. I don't think we could put it over the airwaves. It is raining again in Dallas. The rain is coming down, not heavily, but it is going to act as a drawback to that Texas air attack. Tennessee into a punt formation with Lauricello standing in his end zone and Bobby Dillon, safety man for Texas, standing on the Tennessee 35-yard line. Lauricello had his kick partially blocked a few moments ago. He gets this one away, and it's coming up the field, and it drives Dillon backwards. It's a beautiful kick. It goes back to the 40. Dillon touches the ball, and he has to fall on it at his own 43-yard line. Hey, that's a nice kick. He kicked from the rear of the end zone. Let me see. That's 50, 60, 67 yards he kicked up the field. How do you like that? Mr. Lauricello just booted 67 yards from the rear of his end zone to the Texas 43. And that is a nice kick when the chips are down and your back is up against the wall. And how far back can you be but the rear of the end zone? And he booted from underneath the goal post, and he kicked it up to the Texas 43. Beautiful kick is being nullified, but it's being nullified at Tennessee's request. And it's a 15-yard penalty against Texas and a first down for Tennessee. And it moves the ball up to the Tennessee 23-yard line. And no wonder the Volunteers wanted the play pulled back. And no, I said it was a first. It isn't. It's 3rd and 4. A split formation behind a split line. Hank Lauricello on a handoff to Jimmy Hahn. Hahn runs to the 25. He gets across the 25, goes to the 27. I think that's a first down for the Volunteers. He moves to the 27, and it is a first down for Tennessee. Ernsberger in the fullback spot. Ernsberger on a complete spinner hands it off to Hank Lauricello. Lauricello is dumped before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up about 1 yard. A complete spinner. Lauricello spinning all the way around, faking a handoff to Ernsberger, and then continuing on outside his own right tackle, inside his right end. He was pulled down by Junie Davis, who's backing up the Texas line on the left side. 9 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half of the ball game. Score is Texas 7, Tennessee 7. The Cotton Bowl in Dallas. And it is raining. Rain is coming down, but it isn't coming down hard. Of course, we lost a couple of bridges, but the Texas Chamber of Commerce says it's not raining. Hank Lauricello on a single wing out to the right. And his blocking back is way out this time. A double reverse this time with Jim Hand to Retchebar. Retchebar finally winds up with the ball and goes all the way to the 38. Hey, that's a beautiful play. Let me call it off for you. Jim Hand takes a handoff from Bob Davis, the center, gives it to Dick Ernsberger, who's in at what would normally be fullback, who spins hands to Bert Retchebar, and 3 of the 4 backfield men have got their hands on the ball, moving it like a basketball player would, just shoveling it back and forth, and Retchebar goes off his own left tackle outside of the captain of the Tennessee Volunteer team, Jack Stroud. Stroud running interference, and time is called, and for the maker of the R.J. Rental Camel cigarettes, here is Mr. Bob Vandervender. All right, the Tennessee Volunteers onto their single wing, a famous single wing, and again a double reverse with Bernie Sizemore. Bernie Sizemore carrying the ball for the Vols, and he moves across the 41-yard line. Bernie Sizemore, let me give you this new Tennessee backfield. It has just come on the playing field, and here it is. At left halfback, Harold Payne. At fullback, Dick Ernsberger. He stays in. He's the only man who does. At the wing back is Ed Morgan, and the blocking back is Bernie Sizemore. That is the way the Tennessee backfield is lining up at the moment. Whether he calls it the number 2 or associate backfield, I don't know. But it is not a second-string backfield. It's a lighter backfield than the starting backfield. But speed counts today. A complete spinner with Harold Payne thrown behind the line of scrimmage. He spun right into the arms of Bud McFadden, the left tackle of Texas. And he was stopped by Georges, McFadden, and Harley Sewell. 7-7 is the score, and there is a handkerchief on the last play. The line play has been magnificent on both teams, and that was very expected. Both of these have great lines. The Tennessee team is retreating so far that it seems they know that they are going to be penalized, though at the moment the captain of the Tennessee team, Jack Stroud, is in arguing vociferously with the referee. That's a two-bit word, but his argument prevailed because there is no penalty. It is a holding penalty called on, a holding penalty called on Tennessee, and it is refused by Texas. Or rather, 3rd and 12. Harold Payne on a spinner hands it off to Ernsberger. Ernsberger going on the other side of his line, gets to the 40, goes to the 43, and he is hit down as he gets to the 44. He carried around the left side of the Tennessee line. He circled the end eluded Paul Williams, the right end, and Billy Milburn, the right tackle of Texas, finally dumped the interference and got the ball carrier. Camel scoreboard shows 7-7. Texas 7, Tennessee 7. 7.5 minutes of playing time remaining in the second period of the ball game from Dallas. The world-famous Cotton Bowl, and it is really a sight. This is a magnificent stadium. It's situated in Dallas, in the famous Texas State Fairgrounds, and on all sides are the exhibition buildings which make up the State Fair. So it's a combination of their second and first string backfield. There goes the kick. It's up in the air. Loricella gets it away. Bobby Dillon is under it. He takes it on his own 23. He's up to the 25, up to the 30, stays on his feet, and he's knocked out of bounds on the Texas 32. So it is Texas ball, 1st and 10. The Longhorns take over in their own 32-yard line. 7 minutes and 24 seconds of playing time remaining. It's interesting to note how the Tennessee team got the nickname Volunteers. Tennessee is called the Volunteer State. In a war for the defense of this country, Tennessee had more volunteers per capita than did any other state in the United States, and they are justifiably proud of that fact. Hence the name Volunteers, hence the nickname for the Tennessee team. The Longhorns, well, you can deduct how that was made for Texas. This is the steer state, if I may use such an expression. Ben Tompkins on a handoff this time to Gil Dawson. Gil Dawson, the left halfback of Texan, carries past the 35, gets to the 39, and goes for a good 6 yards, 6 to 7 yards, before he's stopped out by Gordon Pulafsky. Backing up the left side of the Tennessee line. Score on the Camel scoreboard, Tennessee 7, Texas 7. Anybody's ball game. The Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Bill Stern speaking. I hope you like it, and I hope you're smoking Camels. Texas into a split T with Gib Dawson way out to the left this time. Ben Tompkins right down behind the center. Hands it to By Townsend. Townsend goes over the 40, gets to the 41. He falls short of a first down. Billy Jasper, who is the backing up the right side of the Tennessee line, hauls him down to the ground on a vicious tackle. And I mean vicious, really pulled him down. And so it's going to be 3rd and 1. Texas ball, and the Longhorns and the Vols are all tied up 7-7. Both teams with great records coming into this ball game. Well, they'd have to have great records to be in the Cotton Bowl. Each of these teams, as you know, have done great things during the season. All right, Tompkins right down behind the center. He gives it to By Townsend. Townsend tries to bull his way up through the center of the line for the 1 yard that they need, and I think he made it. Holohan, Pulafsky, Daffer all stopped him, and I think that's a first down for Texas. They may bring in the line sticks to measure, and if they do, why, we'll just let you listen to your loudspeaker, and you can determine for yourself as to whether they did or did not make it. They're bringing in the line sticks. Now, here's the way we will determine. If you hear very little yelling, you will know they did not. If you hear a tremendous roar get up, you'll know that Texas has just made a first down. They are now measuring right now, and as soon as they put those line sticks down, I'll hush up so you can listen. Now, you listen. Texas ball, 1st and 10 on the Longhorns' 44-yard line. 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half of the ball game. Texas running out of a T formation. It is a fake handoff. Ben Tompkins keeping it himself. He fades back and throw a long forward pass, and it's not good. Ben Tompkins trying to throw it to Gib Dawson. Dawson racing down the field. He can't get under the ball. Cowboy Hill, the right halfback of Tennessee, goes high up into the air, gets his fingers on it, tries for an interception, can't freeze onto the ball, incomplete. Texas 7, Tennessee 7, the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, and a great ball game. Camel Cigarettes and the National Broadcasting Company, proud of the privilege of bringing it your way. There are many who travel the length and breadth of the United States watching football all over believe this conference, the Southwest, plays as rugged and as wide open. Well, here's a play. Here's a forward pass completed. Ben Tompkins throwing, Tom Stolansky taking it. He takes it on the midfield stripe, and he goes down to the Tennessee 42. Started to say there are many so-called football experts who consider the Southwestern Conference the toughest in the nation. And that's including the Big Ten, the Ivy, the Southeastern, the Southern, and the Pacific Coast, the Missouri Conference, the Missouri Valley, the Big Seven, the Rocky Mountain, the Skyview, etc. And the reason, not that they play any better football, but there are no members of the conference who have weak teams. Every team in here is a potential threat. Ben Tompkins on a handoff to By Townsend. Townsend through the center of the line, and he bulls his way down to the Tennessee 35. He is down to the Tennessee 35. The best explanation I can make of what I am saying is last year Texas A&M was the weakest team in the conference, and they tied Southern Methodist, the strongest team in the conference, and that was the SMU team that very nearly, well, shall we say, gave Notre Dame a busy afternoon. And Notre Dame, as you know, was unbeaten at that time and rolling along on a long winning streak. So if the bottom of the conference can come up and tie the leader, it tells you how close the whole conference is. All right, it is Ben Tompkins on a spot pass, fading back to throw it. There goes a long, long pass down into the end zone. It's down, and it's caught for a touchdown. Give Dawson a touchdown for Texas. There's the first long touchdown pass scored against the Tennessee Volunteers all year. This is a team that has had only 4.3 points scored on them, less than 4.5 points per game, and they've had 13 scored on them this afternoon. They're now trailing 7-13. It'll be Ben Tompkins to kick. He's kicked 20 out of 21, and Dan Page will hold, and Texas has gone out in front. They've pulled themselves from behind. They're leading by a score now of 13-7. Long pass. There's the pass from center. It is up in the air. It is good. Kids kick 21 out of 22. Ben Tompkins, the quarterback, threw it. Give Dawson, the left halfback, caught it. Dawson, a 20-year-old sophomore from Douglas, Arizona, the only man on the Texas team who isn't from Texas. Johnny Adams will kick off, and here we go again. Herky Payne way back for the Tennessee Vols. There goes the kick. Herky's coming up to meet it. It doesn't go to Herky. It goes to Jimmy Hahn, the quarterback. He's on the 10. He gets away from one man, and he's dumped down on the 13-yard line. Billy Wilson, left tackle of Texas, hits him on the 13. He hardly gets a run back at all. And this Texas team is really rugged. Well, the Vols led in the beginning of the ball game, and Texas had to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, and they've done it. They are leading 14-7. We have 4 minutes of playing time remaining in the first half of the ball game, and the Camel scoreboard shows Texas 14 points, Tennessee 7. Tennessee back into a huddle. They have the ball on their own 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Texas just kicked off to them. Tennessee band getting ready to come out of the stand. So is the Texas band. Split T formation. Hank Loricella on the tailback. The ball goes back this time to Ernstberger. Ernstberger goes into the center of the line. He crosses the 15-yard. He gets up to about the 17 for a 3-yard gain. He's stopped by Don Cunningham and Paul Williams. Right end of Texas. And Don Cunningham is the, he backs up the right side of the line. He's the right halfback defensively. All right, Herky Payne is in. Loricella goes out. Dick Ernstberger is in. Jim Hahn is in. And Retchichar is in. That's the Tennessee backfield at the moment. Single wing over to the right. Herky Payne in the tailback spot. Ernstberger in the fullback spot. Goes back to Herky Payne. He fakes a handoff, keeps it himself, tries to come up to the line of scrimmage. He gets past the line. He goes to the 20, and he is pulled down on the 20-yard line. He, I believe, made a first down for the Tennessee Volunteers. See what the referee says. No, he didn't. It is 3rd down and 5. Excuse me. It is 3rd and 5 for the Tennessee Volunteers. He didn't even come close. They were straightening the line sticks out. They have got them straightened out now, and that is my mistake. It is Tennessee's ball, 3rd and 5 on their own 19-yard line. Hank Loricella in at left halfback for the Vols. He takes the place of Herky Payne. Hank Loricella in the tailback of a single wing behind a balanced line. Neyland runs these out of the single wing. It is Loricella fighting his interference. Gets spilled momentarily. He's being trapped behind the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped on the 15-yard line. Billy Wilson, left tackle of Texas. Hank Loricella's own interference dumped him. He vaulted over their bodies. He couldn't stay upright, however. He was wavering, partially falling to the ground as he lost his balance. And Harley Sewell and Billy Wilson hit him hard and drove him down to the ground. So with 2 minutes and 24 seconds, it looks like Mr. Loricella is going to have to go back into a punt formation. And time is out. And for Camel Cigarettes, here is Mr. Rob Vandeventer. Bobby Dillon back in safety. Hank Loricella back. Time is back in. It'll be Tennessee's ball, 4th and about 5. And Loricella boots from the 7. Waiting to take it is Bobby Dillon. Give Dawson is also back. Dawson takes it on his own 45, and he's hit immediately. He's hit by Johnny Grubble, the left end of Tennessee, who hits him down, pinions him to the ground. And it is Texas ball, 1st and 10. And the Longhorns will probably move into the air to try and sew up this ball game with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first half. Look out for little quarterback Ben Tompkins of Texas, who can really fling it around. And while it is raining, the rain is coming down. It's really a mist. I'm not saying that for the Chamber of Commerce. That is an accurate piece of reporting. It is not a heavy rainfall. But the ball's wet, and Gibbs got to throw a wet, soggy ball. He's back to do it. He cocks his arm back, looks for a man to throw to. He races over to the sidelines, can't find a man, and is finally forced out of bounds by Bud Sherrod, alternate captain and left end of the Tennessee Volunteers. who drives him out on the Texas 38-yard line. So on the play, Texas loses 7 yards when Ben Tompkins tries to get a pass away with 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining in the first half, and the score, Texas 14, Tennessee 7. Both bands getting ready to parade on at halftime, and we have got a stellar list of celebrities, including the governors of both states, and many more people that I would like to present, and I think you'll be interested in hearing what they say. Not routine interviews. Bubba Shands coming out to the left. It's Ben Tompkins back to throw. He hands to by Townsend. Townsend breaks to the center of the line, comes up to the 47-yard line, and he goes all the way to the 47. Gordon Pulaski, who backs up the center of the Tennessee line, and Billy Jasper, who backs up the right side of the line, both hit him and knock him down. We'll have a station break on the next time out, and we may be getting it right at this very moment since the water buckets are coming on the field. Are we or are we not? The referee waves them both back, but I think we're going to get a long enough one so that we can have that station break. Let's light up for a camel while we pause briefly for station identification. Back in Dallas, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, the National Broadcasting Company sending you the closing moments of the first half of the world-famous Cotton Bowl. Bill Stern speaking. 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining to be played. Texas has the ball. It is third down. Their ball, 7 yards to go. The ball's resting on their own 47-yard line, midway between the two sideline stripes. The score on the Camel scoreboard, Texas 14, Tennessee 7. Time is back in, Texas into a huddle. Ben Tompkins, who's doing the passing, is going to be married this evening, and his bride is watching this ball game. So you can imagine his emotions are a little bit mixed. And it is Ben, the bridegroom, back to throw a pass. Cocks his arm back, looks for a man to throw to, can't find anybody. He's still looking for a man to throw to, and he's still trying to run with the ball, and he's finally spilled on his own 43. And time, 1 minute and 25 seconds. The Texas team is off the bench. They didn't like the play on that. Billy Pearman, left tackle of Tennessee, went in, hit him low, as he did Bud Sherrod, the left end, alternate captain, came in and hit him high. And the Texas bench, in which that play happened right in front, came off like a shot. But there was, as far as I could see, no unnecessary roughness, nor did the referee call it. 1 minute and 11 seconds. It is fourth down, 11 yards to go, and Billy Porter is coming in. He will boot for Texas. Ben Tompkins, who is going to be married tonight, tries to get two away and can't find anybody to throw to. There's the pass from center. He takes it and kicks. It's end over end, not a spiral kick. And it goes out of bounds in the neighborhood, I would say, of about the Tennessee 25-yard line. So it's the Vols' ball, first and 10 on their own 25. And there is a Texan injured on the play. Now he's being helped back up to his feet. It's Billy Porter. Billy Porter, the boy who kicked, is injured on that play. Whether there was piling on or not, I do not know. But he is limping off the field, and if there was, it wasn't called. Also coming out of the game is Don Cunningham, and he is limping. So two Texans. This is real football. It is rugged, it is hard, but it is clean. The Volunteers have the ball, first and 10 on their own 25, and Herky Payne is in at tailback. Dick Ernsberger is in at fullback. Jimmy Hahn is in at quarterback, and Bert Richeshar is the blocking back in the moment of the Tennessee backfield. The ball goes back to Ernsberger. Ernsberger goes into the center of the line, and he gains nothing, and there's a flag on the play. Dick Ernsberger carried the ball on the play. He gained absolutely nothing. He lost about 2 yards. There was a penalty, or rather a flag on the play. Jim Lansford, right guard of Texas, is the man who made that stop. And we are going to have a penalty on the play, and it's going to be against Texas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Had no sign as yet. 5 yards. We'll get a signal right now and relay it along to you. We've had no signal as yet. Hacking or illegal use of hands called against Texas. Ernsberger is in the fullback spot, and Richeshar is in the blocking back spot. A complete spinner with Ernsberger carrying the ball in the center line. He breaks up to the 40, goes to the 45, and he's up to the 47-yard line. As Tennessee, with only 36 seconds remaining in the first half, begins to shake a man loose again. Dick Ernsberger, in a complete spinner, came through the center of the line, broke into the clear, and the safety man for Texas had to get him, Bobby Dillon, or he'd have been on his way. And time is running out on him as 23, 22, 21 seconds. Tennessee trying to tie this ball game up before the half ends. There's only 17 seconds, 16 seconds. The Cotton Bowl from Dallas. Herky Payne in the tailback this time. Ernsberger in the number 3 slot. It's Herky Payne back to throw a long one for Tennessee. There it goes down the field. It's intercepted by Texas. Intercepted by Texas. Texas takes it on the 25. Bubba Shands goes high in the air, intercepts on the 25, and that stops the clock with 4 seconds remaining. Texas takes over in their own 25. Bubba Shands went high into the air, and he pulled it down on the 25-yard line, so it's Texas ball, first and 10. 4 seconds remaining to be played. And then the first half will have gone into history on just as good a ball game as you could wish for. It figured to be a great game, and it has been. The Cotton Bowl, New Year's Day, being sent thanks to the Armed Forces Radio Service around the world. I told you where the stations were. There's the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. End of the first half, and the score is 14-7. The Camel scoreboard shows the score, Texas 14, Tennessee 7. Here goes the kick. Second half's underway. It is taken by Jimmy Hahn, the quarterback, behind the goal line. He's back to the 5, the 10, the 15, stays on his feet, goes to the 20, and he's knocked down on the 24. Jimmy Hahn, quarterback of Tennessee, runs it back to the 24. He picks it up about 3 yards back of the goal line, and he brought it up. He is the Tennessee quarterback, and he really gave that ball a ran, and a couple more steps, and he'd have been on his way. Jimmy Hahn, a 183-pound junior out of Newport News, Virginia, regular blocking back for the past 2 years, playing out of the quarterback slot this year. Single wing to the right. Hank Lauricella comes back into the backfield, and he's in the tailback spot for Tennessee. The Vols ball, they trail by 7 points. It's the buck lateral. It's Jimmy Hahn to Andy Kozar. Kozar goes across the 25. He reaches the 28. That's the famous Neyland play. Harley Sewell and Jack Barton break it up, but not before he picked up 5 yards. Andy Kozar, fullback for the University of Tennessee, was the man who ran that ball. He's a 195-pound sophomore out of St. Michael's, Pennsylvania. Lauricella on the tailback of a single wing over the right this time behind a balanced line. Second half of the Cotton Bowl game. 7 points separate these two teams. Lauricella trying to break into the clear, and he can't do it. Gained nothing. He tried to come outside his own right tackle, and Billy Wilson, the left tackle of Texas, hit him and hit him down. It is raining in Dallas, Texas. It's a murky, a dark, damp, and dank day. And Texas is playing a 6-man line to break it up. 2 men backing it up, and 3 men about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 13 minutes and 40 seconds of playing time remaining in the third period. Scores Tennessee 7. The Campbell scoreboard shows Texas has got 14. A crossbuck this time with Jimmy Hahn, the quarterback, winding up with the ball. It was a direct pass back to the fullback, Andy Kozar. Jim Hahn started back towards Kozar. Kozar shoved it to Hahn. Hahn spun over his own right guard, and he was brought down by Harley Sewell, the left guard of Texas. Pulled the ball up to the 32-yard line, and they're going to measure to see whether they did or did not make a first down. They're going to measure it right now. This is very close for Tennessee. And the Tennessee Volunteer team seems to be a better ball club than they were in the first half. The marker is better than... it is a first down for Tennessee. A first down for Tennessee. I started to say the marker is just touching the front nose of the ball, and that's all it has to do. Hank Lauricella on the tailback of a single wing to the left. It is a double reverse this time to Bert Retcheshire carrying the ball. Retcheshire going way around the left side of the line. He is back to the 35. He's down to the 40. He's up to the 45, and he is knocked down to the 45-yard line. And he goes for another first down for Tennessee. And the Vols are really moving. Jimmy Hahn handed to Andy Kozar. Kozar started to cut outside his own right tackle. Bert Retcheshire, the right halfback, cut around behind him, took a handoff from him, and went way out around Johnny Grubble, the left end of Tennessee. He was brought down by Jackie Barton, who's backing up the right side of the Texas line, and it is another first down for Tennessee. And the Vols have come up the field. Let's see, they're on the 45, and they started 3 yards in the end zone, so they've come 48 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4 plays. Hank Lauricella on the tailback of a single wing over the right behind a balanced line. The ball goes back to Lauricella. He's ready back to throw forward pass. Can't cock his arm back to get it rid of it. He's going to run it. He's up to the 45. Gets away from another man. Goes to the 50. He's down into Texas territory. He is knocked out of bounds on the Texas 43. And Tennessee's moving. The Vols, in 3 plays, have run off 3 first downs, and their cheerleaders are really getting something to yell about now. And the 10,000 Tennesseans who've come down from Knoxville. Time is called, and called by Texas. Bob Neyland in his famous single wing. Lauricella in the number 4 spot. A spinner with Andy Kozar into the center of the line. There's a flag on the play. Kozar carries all the way down to the 31-yard line. There's a flag on that play, and it may be against Tennessee, and if it does, it's going to cost them a lot of yardage, all the way down to the 31. Jack Barton, who backs up the right side of the Texas line. I believe it was an offside against Tennessee, and the Vols lose 11 yards that they gained and 5 yards in penalty. That's a 16-yard loss for Tennessee. No, backfield in motion. Backfield in motion called against the Tennessee Vols. Andy Kozar in the fullback spot. Fullback is the number 3. Lauricella is the number 4, the deep man. Lauricella taking the ball, fading back, faking a pass. He's going wide around the end. He tries to come in, and he is finally brought down on the 37-yard line. He goes to the 37. He went from the 47 to the 37 for a 10-yard gain and almost a first down. Jack Barton stopped him again. And let's see, with 11 minutes and 43 seconds on the Camel scoreboard, it shows Texas 14, Tennessee 7. in a wide-open ball game, which is breaking more wide open every minute, with the Volunteers, who started 3 yards behind their own goal line, and they're down all the way to the Texas 37. They were just penalized 17 yards, an 11-yard loss on a play. They asked for a towel to be brought in to dry off the ball, and a 5-yard penalty for backfield in motion on that. It is second down, 3 yards to go. Hank Loricella on the tailback. Andy Kozar hands it off to Jimmy Hahn. Hahn on a spinner goes down to the 33, and he's knocked down. Andy Kozar handed off to Jimmy Hahn, and he goes to almost a first down. They may measure this to see whether it is or it is not. Tennessee's Jim Hahn, their quarterback, mixing these plays up beautifully. First and 10 for the Volunteers, and they're down on the Texas 33. And the Cotton Bowl game is breaking wide open in Dallas, Texas. Here comes Tennessee out of the huddle very quickly now. It's a spirited team. Neyland said something at halftime. He whipped his boys up. Hank Loricella hands a handoff to Andy Kozar, and Kozar gets absolutely nowhere. Stopped on the line of scrimmage. Andy Kozar, fullback of Tennessee, hit the center of the line, and Harley Sewell, the left guard of Texas, stopped him and said, brother, this door is closed. And it was. So there's no gain on that play whatsoever, a loss of 1 yard. Bubba Shands comes in defensively for Texas. Backing up the line, Bubba Shands behind the right side. In the middle of the line is Junie Davis, and the left side is Jack Barton. Defensive alignment for the University of Texas. 14-7 is the score, but Tennessee is on the march. Loricella back to throw, and he throws in desperation. He may be penalized for it. He threw not to complete that pass, but he threw to get rid of it. He was being pressed all the way back up to the middle of the field. He was trying to find Andy Kozar in the open. Kozar was nowhere near him, but they're calling no penalty. And listen to this crowd. They don't like it. Listen to the boos. So the backfield is Loricella in the tailback, Andy Kozar in the fullback spot, Morgan in the bucking back spot, or rather in the wing spot. And it's a handoff this time. The ball goes to Andy Kozar. No, it's Hank Loricella. Loricella goes past the 30, gets down to past the 35, down to about the 30-yard line, and he is stopped just about on the 30 by Harley Sewell. So it's going to be fourth down coming up, 7 yards to go, and if Tennessee's got anything up their sleeve, here's where they better pull it out. It's the world-famous Cotton Bowl. Bill Stern speaking from Dallas, Texas. And it's Texas 14, Tennessee 7. But the Vols of Texas are knocking at the Golden Gate. They're not going to kick. They're going to run with this ball. It's a handoff to Eddie Morgan, and he's dropped on the line of scrimmage, and Texas takes over. A handoff to Eddie Morgan. Hank Loricella to Ed Morgan. And Texas takes over on their own 30-yard line. It was a fourth down, 7 yards to go, and they didn't kick for the coffin corner. Well, that is one they will be kicking around the feed box. The Hot Stove League will have that one to chew over all winter long. Why didn't they kick? 4th and 7 on the Texas 30, and in a previous position like that, they booted out of bounds on about the 3, and had they done it here, they would have forced Texas to kick right back to them. But they didn't. Bubba Shands to Byron Townsend. Townsend in the center of the line, and he is stopped as he goes from the 30 to the 32. Texas leading by 7 points. Gordon Pulafsky at center, backing up the Tennessee line, is the man who made the stop. And Camel Cigarettes does hope that you're enjoying this ball game today, and I know one thing you would enjoy, and you know what I was going to say, so you say it yourself. Texas 14, Tennessee 7. A beautiful ball game in a Cotton Bowl, despite the fact that it's been raining most of the afternoon. Bubba Shands way out to the right, Ben Tompkins under the center. Split T formation, he laterals back to Byron Townsend. Townsend to give Dawson. Dawson gets across the 40, fumbles the ball, and Tennessee recovers. Referee is calling for the ball back to the 41-yard line. It was recovered on the Tennessee 49 by Bert Retcheshire. But I think they are calling the play back. And they're calling the play back and giving the ball to Texas. Bubba Sands way out to the right. Ben Tompkins under. A handoff this time. It's to give Dawson. And Dawson is piled up at the line of scrimmage. He gains nothing. Roy Smith and Ted Daffer all pile him up on the line of scrimmage. Tennessee defensively has Bert Retcheshire back at safety. Backing up the right side of the line is Billy Jasper. The left side is Gordon Pulafsky, who's a center. And Bud Sherrill and Cowboy Hill are assisting on the backing of the Tennessee line. They're about, I'd say 7 yards back to the line of scrimmage. One to the right, the other to the left. Way out to the right this time for Texas on the offense goes Gib Dawson. Texas leading by 14 points. A fake pass. It's a handoff to Bud Townsend. He breaks into the clear, gets to the 50, and he goes across the 50 down into the Tennessee 48-yard line. Byron Townsend goes to the 48-yard line before he is stopped by Gordon Pulafsky. Ben Tompkins, faded back. He's the quarterback to throw a pass or a fake pass, and Townsend just took it out of his arms and sailed into the center of the line. And the Tennessee defense had retreated so far, thinking that a pass was coming up, that he had clear sailing for almost a first down. It's less than 3rd and 1. It's about 3rd and inches. by Townsend in the middle. Handoff this time goes to Bubba Shands. Shands goes into the line of scrimmage, and I don't think he gained more than a yard if he gained that. He was belted back so severely by Gordon Pulaski and Roy Smith that he wound up about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but actually he advanced 1 yard when the whistle blew, and of course it is on the blowing of the whistle that you determine where the ball wound up. 2nd and 9. We have 6 minutes and 38 seconds of playing time remaining in the third period of the world-famous Cotton Bowl in Dallas, which the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, makers of Camel cigarettes, and the National Broadcasting Company are proud and privileged to send your way exclusively. Gib Dawson, left halfback, fading back. Ben Tompkins hands it off to Bubba Shands. Shands coming on the wide sweeping end run. He is run out of bounds as he gets back to about the Tennessee 47-yard line. Lost about a yard on that play. He's run out of bounds by Billy Jasper. We're going to have a station break as soon as we possibly can on the next time out. Score on the Camel scoreboard is Texas 14, Tennessee 7. Tennessee scored first, led 7-0, and then Texas pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps. Gib Dawson way out to the right, and Ben Tompkins right down behind his center now, running at that split T formation. He fades back to throw a forward pass, throws it down the field, and it's not good. Oh, Bert Richeshire had that in his arms. He's defensive quarterback for Tennessee, or rather I should say defensive safety man. And he had it in his arms, but he couldn't hold on to it. Tom Stolansky, the right end of Texas, was the man that was intended for. So it is 4th and 9 for Texas, and they will be booting for the sidelines with 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third period. Billy Porter will be poured in to kick. Porter will come in, and Bert Richeshire goes back in safety position for Tennessee, and he is standing back all the way on the Vol 7-yard line. Porter gets a good pass from center this time, and he boots from the sidelines. He's trying to shake it away from Bert Richeshire, and he does. Goes out of bounds on about the Tennessee, I would call it, near the 30-yard line. Let's see what the ref calls it. There's a flag on the play, and the ball is being returned to the line of scrimmage. And also a player injured. Roy Smith, right tackle of Tennessee, is injured on that play. And the ball is being called back to the line of scrimmage. We'll give you why as soon as we get a signal. It is Tennessee's ball on their own 36-yard line. That's where that kick went out of bounds. Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10. It's a double lateral work. Jimmy Hahn to Hank Laricella. Laricella fading way back, running with the ball. Gets back to the 40, goes to the 45, crosses the midfield stripe, and he is finally knocked down on the Texas 48-yard line by Junie Davis. And that is a wonderful gain and more than a first down for the Tennessee Volunteers, who are sparking their way back into this ball game as Texas, with one of the great teams in the Southwest, and that's the highest compliment you can pay any team, one of the great teams now finds themselves with, the Tennessee Volunteers in their own territory. 4th time today, the Tennessee's been over the 50-yard line. They made it once, and they've missed on 2 other occasions, and this is their 4th. Laricella on the tailback this time, a single wing to the right behind the balance line. It's Laricella back to throw forward pass. Cocks his arm back, throws it down. Intercepted by Texas. Bobby Dillon, the safety man, intercepts on the 40s, up the 45, crosses the midfield stripe. And there's a flag on the play. There is a flag on the play. Texas intercepts, runs it down into Tennessee territory. It goes out on the Tennessee 48. There's a flag on that play. And both teams are starting to send in the other platoon. You know, both employ the 2-platoon system. But I think illegal use of the hands is going to be called against Texas. And if it is, it's a 15-yard penalty. And that's what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 yards on Texas. It's a great break for Tennessee and a bitter blow to Texas. Puts the Vols down on the Texas 31-yard line. And it takes the ball away from Texas. That was a bad break for Texas and a wonderful break for Tennessee. Texas, however, retains possession of the ball. Texas retains possession of the ball on that pass interception, but is penalized 15 yards for illegal use of hands. They had the ball down to the Tennessee 48. Texas ball, 1st and 10. There's a fumble in the backfield, and it's recovered by Ben Tompkins. He fumbled it, and he recovered it. The ball is snatched out of his arms by Frank Holloran, the left guard of Tennessee, and he runs down into the end zone, but I don't think they're going to allow it. Frank Holloran, the left guard of Tennessee, snatched the ball out of Ben Tompkins, the quarterback's hand, and the Tennessee team is so mad they're slamming their helmets down on the ground. Here is what happened. Ben Tompkins, the quarterback of Texas, fumbled the ball. He recovered his own fumble. Frank Holloran somehow came up with that ball after Tompkins had recovered. Holloran is the left guard of Tennessee. He ran 31 yards into the end zone, and Tennessee thought he had scored, the Tennessee team. Tompkins on a fake handoff. He keeps it himself. He's racing around the left side of his line. He's up to the 40, and he's finally dragged down on a 43. And he goes for a first down for Texas. Dallas. Ben Tompkins, quarterback of Texas, who had him in a peck of trouble a moment ago and just got him out beautifully. Cowboy Hill drove him out of bounds for Tennessee. All right, it's 1st and 10. Texas ball on their own 43-yard line. It's a wet ball they're handling. Remember that. Give Dawson way out to the right. Split T. We keep saying split T. The ends are wide, and the halfbacks are split one way or the other. The ball goes to By Townsend, and he is dumped. He may have picked up 1 yard. He's dumped by Bud Sherrod, alternate captain and left end of the Tennessee Volunteers. Bill Stern speaking from Dallas, Texas, the Cotton Bowl New Year's Day, and this really is quite a ball game. Even Steven, with Tennessee now stung and infuriated. They thought they had themselves a touchdown, and it was called back. Dawson way out to the right, and it is a fake pass by Tompkins. He finds nobody to get rid of it to, and he's dumped on his own 41. Ben Tompkins, who's going to be married tonight, can't find anybody to throw the ball to, and he finally just eats it himself, as the saying is, and goes down on the 41-yard line. It's going to be a 4th down coming up now. 4th down, 11 yards to go. Texas leading by 7 points. Bill Stern speaking. Billy Porter's in to kick for Texas, and the Longhorns have the ball on their own 41. Porter's kicking on a rainy afternoon with a jam-packed stadium, better than 75,000 people in attendance, and he boots it away with Bert Retcheshire. Bert Retcheshire lets the ball go out of bounds on the, no, it went to about the 18, well, let's call it the 18-yard line. So it's Tennessee's ball, and they must take over from where they left off a moment ago. They took it in their own 3 yards behind their own end zone, and they worked it deep down to Texas territory, down as far as about the 31-yard line, and then gave it up. On a 4th down with 7 yards to go, they didn't do what Mr. Neyland generally orders done, and that is boot into a coffin corner. Bob plays normally a conservative type of football. I imagine he believed that he would fool Texas because everybody thought it was coming up, but it didn't. Went into a kick formation, and Lauricella ran it, and he didn't make the 7 yards. And so they handed it to Texas, and then they finally held Texas, and now they've got to take over from their own 18. Over his own left tackle goes Andy Kozar, the fullback of Tennessee, on the first running play. In this sequence, he crosses the 20, gets to the 22 for about a 5-yard gain. So it is 2nd and 5. 2 minutes and 51 seconds remaining to be played. And Texas and Tennessee are really belting the daylights out of each other. Perfectly legit. But this is no game for children. The Cotton Bowl jammed on New Year's Day. Hank Lauricello on a single wing. Over to the right. Andy Kozar in the fullback spot. Andy Kozar hands it off to Lauricello. Lauricello comes out past the 30, and he is hit down just as he gets to the 30-yard line. Almost squirmed his way into the clear. Bob Raleigh, the left halfback of Texas, the man who hits him down. Bob Raleigh. That is enough for a 1st down, and Tennessee once again begins to move with that powerful ground attack, which is the trademark of all Tennessee volunteer teams for years and years. 2 minutes of playing time remaining in the 3rd period, and the score is Texas 14, Tennessee 7. Hank Lauricello in the tailback of a single wing to the left this time. A balanced line, Andy Kozar in the fullback spot. The bucking back, the number 4, Lauricello the deepest. It goes to Kozar, Kozar to Jimmy Hahn. Hahn breaks into the clear at the 30, goes to the 35, keeps driving, drives it past the 40, and I think he made another 1st down for Tennessee. Gee, that kid's got a lot of leg drive. Jimmy Hahn, the quarterback of Tennessee, was hit on the 35, and where do you think he was stopped? On the 40. 5 yards he picked up. There is the living proof to all you embryonic football players. When your coach tells you to keep those knees driving, what can happen? He was hit and hit hard on the 35, and they finally brought him down on a 40. All right, it's 1st and 10. Tennessee has worked it up from the 18 to their own 40. They're coming up the field the hard way, biting off chunks of 2, 3, 4, and 5 yards at a clip. Looks like an offside on Texas on that one. Andy Kozar into the center of the line, and he goes for 5 yards. Andy Kozar picked up 5 yards the hard way. Junie Davis stopped him, backing up the center of the Texas line. But there was an obvious Texas offside on the play. We have 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Camel's scoreboard shows it's Texas 14, Tennessee 7. Both sides offside on that preceding play, not just Texas. So the ball was returned to the 40-yard line. The 5-yard gain by Tennessee was nullified. Hank Lauricello handling a wet ball, and they're trying a lateral, and it goes to Lauricello. He's out around the left side of his line. He gets up across the middle of the field, and I think he has just about got another 1st down for Tennessee. And the Vols are really making this the hard way. Across the 50-yard line by inches, Bud McFadden, the left tackle and All-American tackle of Texas, the man who stopped him. They may have missed that 1st down just by inches. The ball is resting right smack on the middle of the field, and that dear old lady that writes me every week of every year and asks me whose 50-yard line it is, honestly, I didn't know in 35, I don't know in 1951. Just the 50-yard line, let it go at that. Nobody's 50. There is the end of the 3rd period, ladies and gentlemen, the end of the 3rd period. And the score is Texas 14, Tennessee 7. The Tennessee Volunteers have the ball. Into the center of the line goes Andy Kozar, and he picks up a first down. He balled it over the center of the line. That's all they needed was 1 yard. They got 3. So we're into the fourth and final period, and Mr. Kozar has carried the Tennessee Volunteers into a first down in Texas territory. So Tennessee is doing this the hard way. I said that a moment ago. They are going inside a tackle only once on these 11 plays, which have carried them from their own 18-yard line where this sweep started. 11 plays have carried them now down to the Texas 48. They have not gained more than 7 on any one play and not less than any 2, and they've been biting right between tackle and tackle. It's been wide plays, only wide, in that they've gone inside a tackle, and here comes another one. Hank Loricella comes right inside his right tackle, drives to the 41, and another 5-yard gain is registered. Let's call it a 7-yard gain. June Davis. That's right, June, a girl's name, but as I said earlier, he is not girlish in any manner, shape, or form. Boy backs up the Texas line, and, well, I just hate to call him effeminate in any way. Ever took a slug at you, he'd hand you your head in your left hand. Tennessee's ball, a single wing to the left. Hank Loricella, the left halfback, and the tailback. And the Vols are down on the Texas 41, knocking at the gate. A spinner this time. Hank Loricella going wide. He can't find an opening, reverses his field, and he's spilled in the 44 for a 3-yard loss. Billy Georges and Bud McFadden said, not around this side you don't. He tried to cut outside his own right end, and he lost 3 yards on the play. So it's going to be 3rd and 6 for Tennessee. And time is called this time by Texas. Tennessee at all times has been in the ball game and is now threatening to score as they are down in Texas territory. So it is 14-7 on the Big Camel scoreboard, and Bernie Sizemore comes in at quarterback, and Jim Hahn goes out for Tennessee. Ball goes this time to Hank Loricella. Loricella to Andy Kozar. Kozar goes past the 40, goes to the 35, and he is knocked down on the 32-yard line. Bobby Dillon, playing safety for Texas, has to come up to get him, and Tennessee is deep down in Texas territory. This is the deepest they have been, with the one exception of the one penetration when they scored. They are down on the 31.5-yard line, and it is another first down for the Volunteers of Tennessee, and they are driving. That is Andy Kozar who made that last play. Hank Loricella on the tailback of a single wing to the right. Most people standing up now. Better than 75,000 people in attendance. It's a flip lateral back to Loricella, and he in turn throws a pass, and it's not good. Loricella's pass was intended for Rushashar, Bert Rushashar. It never reaches him. Don Manasco was tackling Hank Loricella as he threw it, and he jarred his arm enough. Single wing over the left this time. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Hank Loricella on the tailback of the single wing. He generally is. Ball goes to Kozar. He spins, finds a beautiful hole, stays on his feet. He's past the 20. He's down to the 19-yard line. Bobby Dillon, the safety man, has to come up to get him again. And Tennessee is really driving deep down into Texas territory. This Tennessee team is far out of this game. Far from being out of this ball game. Texas, one of the great teams in the Southwest, and you can't pay a team a higher compliment. Across the field comes hold that line, and from the Tennessee rooting section comes hit it. All right, here comes Tennessee out of the huddle right now. It is first down again, and the Vols are down on the Texas 19-yard line with a first down. Hank Loricella on the tailback of a single wing over the left. The most unconcerned players on the field seem to be the Tennessee team. They're calm. Andy Kozar in a handoff to Loricella. He's going around the left side of his line. He is tripped momentarily, but driven out of bounds as he gets to about the 18-yard line. Gain of 1 yard. Went around the left end. Bubba Shands of Texas brought him down. B-U-B-B-A, if that strikes you as an uncommon name. Bubba Shands. So it is Tennessee's ball, 2nd and 9. Last period of the Cotton Bowl from Dallas, Texas. Hank Loricella on the tailback of a single wing to the right. Andy Kozar in the number 3. It's Andy Kozar in the center of the line. He goes to the 15-yard line, and he is knocked down on the 15. Harley Sewell, left guard of Texas, brings him down on the 15. Tennessee is really doing this the hard way. I think time is being called. No, it isn't time either. It is a Texan who is hurt on that play. Right, it is Tennessee's ball, and this ball game is wide open. 11 minutes and 30 seconds remaining to be played. Hank Loricella on the tailback, and Tennessee is down on the Texas 15-yard line. Andy Kozar carrying the ball. He's down to the 10. He's all the way down to the 5-yard line, and he stepped on the 5. Andy Kozar, fullback of Tennessee. And what a human interest story there is on this kid. I hate to break into play-by-play to tell you a story and give you a sob story, because I know you don't want it. Just let me say this, and I'll make it brief. In 1945, this kid had polio. They told him he would never walk again, let alone play football. That's the kid who just carried the ball for Tennessee down to their 5-yard line, down to the Texas 5. Is that a great story? 1945, he had polio, and his doctors told him he'd never walk again. He just belted through the center of the Texas line and carried the Volunteers down to the Texas 5. Andy Kozar, their fullback. And they're down on the Texas 5-yard line. Single wing to the left. Hank Lauricello in the tailback. Ball goes back to Andy Kozar in a complete spinner. He's down to the 3, the 2, the 1. He scores! Andy Kozar scores for Tennessee. That's the boy I was just talking about. Had polio in 45, was told he would never walk again, has just scored a touchdown for the University of Tennessee. Went over from the 5, and the Vols are back in the ball game. It is 14-13. Pat Shires will kick, and Harold Johnson will hold, and Johnson does nothing but hold. He does nothing else. He doesn't do a single solitary thing except hold the ball. Whenever Tennessee scores, he races on the field and gets down on his haunches and holds the ball. That is his sole duty. And Pat Shires will try the extra point. He is the brother of the former great of Tennessee, Abe Shires. It is 14-13, and if Tennessee makes it, it's a tie ball game. If they don't, well, who knows? Crowd settles down, 75,000 people. Harold Johnson's down, waiting for the pass from center. There it is. It's touchdown. The kick is up in the air. It is not good. It is not good. It is not good. That boy that just missed that kick kicked 35 out of 39 during the season, and he had the heartbreaking experience to miss one in the Cotton Bowl. He kicked 35 out of 39 in the regular season. He made it 36 out of 40 today when he kicked the first one when Tennessee scored, and he missed this one this last time. So it is now Texas 14, Tennessee 13 in the Cotton Bowl in a whale of a ball game. Here comes Johnny Adams forward. He boots. No, Reschenar kicked off. Reschenar kicks it off. It is taken by Bubba Shears. Bubba's up to the 20, the 25, stays on his feet, goes to the 30, keeps going, goes to the 35, and is finally knocked down on the 40-yard line. Bubba Sands comes all the way up to the 40-yard line, and he is knocked down by Sizemore. So it is Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line with a score of 14-13. Texas leading Tennessee by a single point, and time is called by Tennessee. And with timeout, I think Mr. Vanderventer has a word. Well, here it is. Bob, for a couple of Cotton Bowl tickets, you could have gotten a new washing machine. That's how desperate they were to get him. Ben Proctor way out to the left. Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 40. Ball is given this time to Byron Townsend. Their All-American fullback goes to the 44, and the Longhorns are stopped on the 44, so it's going to be 2nd and 6. Bill Perman, the left tackle of Tennessee, stopped him, and Billy Jasper, the fullback of Tennessee. Hey, the sun's trying to come out. What do you know? Don't know why I should be so excited about that. They haven't had any rain in Texas in all month long, but they've had it this afternoon. Sun is trying its best to get through the clouds and trying to drive the rain away. The ball's wet down there. It's been raining most of the afternoon. Give Dawson way out to the right this time. Texan in their own 44. Ben Proctor way out to the left. He's the left end. He's split wide. It's a flip lateral back to Byron Townsend, and he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. He is dropped on the 43. Bud Sherrod, the left end alternate captain of Tennessee, is the man who drops him. Score on the Camel scoreboard. Texas 14, Tennessee 13. 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining to be played in this ball game. Bill Stern speaking from Dallas, Texas. They drive the ball. Towel is thrown in so that they can. Texas back into a huddle. The sun trying desperately to come out in Dallas, Texas. All right, here comes Texas back to the line of scrimmage. It's still very much a game to be won. Give Dawson way out to the right this time on the split tee. It's Ben Tompkins on a fake pass. He hands it to Byron Townsend. Townsend running loose with the ball. He's up to the 50, and he's hit down on the 50 on the Tennessee 48, and it's a first down for Texas. And Texas is down in Tennessee territory. Ben Tompkins fading back to pass. Instead of passing, handed off to By Townsend, and By Townsend went into the center of the line. A beautiful hole there. They had taken the Tennessee center of the defensive line out completely. A big hole there. You could have driven a truck through it. And Texas picked up a first down. They're down in Tennessee territory. Here comes Texas out of the huddle very quickly now. Out to the right goes Ochoa, Dick Ochoa, who replaced Bubba Shands. He's gone out of the ball game. Ochoa's in. And it's Tompkins to Byron Townsend. Townsend following his interference. He goes all the way to the 38-yard line before he's brought down, and that may be another first down. A 10-yard gain. He went outside his own left tackle and inside his left end, and Doug Atkins, the right end of Tennessee, hauled him down to the ground. And these tackles are so vicious. It is Byron Townsend who is down on the ground, and his loss would be a terrible blow for the University of Texas. Byron Townsend injured on that play. He's Texas All-American fullback, and he is lying flat on his face, which is a bad sign. He's not lying on his back. Byron Townsend, Texas, the fullback, injured on the last play, picked up 10 yards. And to his everlasting credit, let it be said that whatever's wrong with him, he never gave up that ball. He hung on to it. All right, Texas 14, Tennessee 13. 8 minutes and 4 seconds remaining to be played in the world-famous Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. And Gib Dawson is deployed way out to the right as we resume play with Texas on the Tennessee 40-yard line. It is second down and less than a yard to go. Into the center of the line goes Byron. No, it isn't. It's Richard Ochoa. And he went for, I believe, about 2 yards. They only needed 1. So I think that is a first down. Billy Jasper was the boy who came in to make the tackle. Holohan helped him, the Frankie Holohan. He may measure this to see whether it is or is not a first down. 7 minutes and 32 seconds remaining to be played. Referee picks the ball up and drives it off. Ball is resting on the Volunteers' 36-yard line. The loudspeaker just said 32. That was an error. It is the 36. Gib Dawson way out to the right. The split T for Texas. Single wing versus the split T this afternoon. It's Tompkins back to throw a pass. He throws it down. Intercepted by Tennessee. Jim Cowboy Hill has it, the right halfback. He's up to the 35, the 40, up to the 45. Stays on his feet, goes across the 50. He's knocked out of bounds on the Texas 46. That may be the ball game. An interception by Jim Cowboy Hill, the right halfback of Tennessee. And what an interception. You Easterners who remember Larry Kelly of Yale, who used to go up and make these basketball catches with one hand. That's what this kid did. He went way up in the air. He knocked it down with one hand, and he caught it. And he was moving when he did. And he came up the field some 26 yards after he intercepted. It's Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10. They trail by 1 point. Texas leads 14-13. But the Bowser got the ball down on the Texas 47-yard line. Into the center of the line goes Andy Kozar. He goes across the 45, a gain of 3 yards. Well, the referee says that he didn't gain the 3 yards, that he actually gained about 2 yards, so let's put it 2. 2nd and 8. Paul Williams right into Texas, the man who brought him down. Tennessee back into a huddle. Time becoming important. 6 minutes and 46 seconds remaining to be played, but nobody reaching for the exit yet. It is no longer raining, but Tennessee has what they want most, the ball. You can't win a game if you haven't got the ball. Texas, a superbly coached team by Blair Cherry, playing their hearts out for a man who will not coach them after today. Ed Price is the new head coach. He's watching today. He is the line coach, was the line coach, becomes head coach after today. It is Andy Kozar over the right tackle, and he goes down to about the 40-yard line. He puts it on the 39. Referee puts it down on the 39. He went over his own right guard. Andy Kozar, I've told you all I'm going to about that boy. That's the kid with infantile paralysis, who they told would never walk again, and he belted his way over his own right tackle, right guard. Went down to the 39. Bud McFadden, Texas All-American, hung on to him for dear life. And Kozar's legs were driving so hard that Bud just could hang around his waist and wait for an assistance. And he finally got it from Bobby Dillon, the safety man, who came up and helped him, and then they hauled him down. It is 3rd and about 2. Hank Lauricella in the tailback this time. Andy Kozar in a handoff to Jim Hahn. There's a flag on the play. The ball goes back to Sizemore. Sizemore is stopped on the 40-yard line. There's a loss of about a yard on that play, but there is a flag on the play. So even though Tennessee lost 1 yard on that play, it is a penalty against Tennessee. Texas doesn't want the penalty. They don't want the 5 yards. They're perfectly willing to let that 5 yards go. It's backfield in motion, not offside called against Tennessee, but Texas refuses it. There's only 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining to be played. Lauricella's in the tailback. They got a big yardage to go. Into the center of the line goes Andy Kozar, and he didn't make it. Andy Kozar goes into the center of the line. It's going to be a big pileup. I think Texas took over. Texas takes over on the, well, let's call it the 36. The Longhorns take over on the 36. Harley Sewell, Junie Davis, Jack Barton all stopped him. He picked up 2 of the 3 that he needed, but he didn't pick up the 3, and that could have been the ball game. So it's Texas ball. Tennessee will be playing for a fumble now to see if they can jar it loose. Ball this time goes to Gib Dawson. Dawson fumbles the ball, and Tennessee recovered. Cowboy Hill. Hey, they ought to build a statue for that guy back in Knoxville. He recovered. He's the guy intercepted for him a moment ago, and he just recovered now. The entire Texas team is protesting that decision, but it was a fumble, and Hill did recover. And it's Tennessee's ball, 1st and 10 on the Texas 44-yard line. Your emotions are swayed back and forth in this ball game. Just think of what's going through Blair Cherry's mind. Unbeaten in conference competition, lost only by 1 point to Oklahoma. He's got a 1-point lead over Tennessee. His final game, this is the last time he'll coach, and he's watching his team. Here's Andy Kozar spinning off his own right tackle. He goes from the 43 down to the 37-yard line for a 5-yard gain for Tennessee. Imagine what Blair Cherry's emotions are. This is the last time he'll coach the University of Texas. He had a successful season this year. Lost only to Oklahoma, and then by but a single point. Riddled the Southwestern Conference, was unbeaten in competition in the conference. And now he's got a 1-point lead, and you know how much he wants to hold on to that lead. Well, figure what all Dallas wants. This is played in Dallas. It's a complete spinner with Hank Loricella fading back to throw a forward pass, and it's completed. It's completed to Reschner. Reschner takes it on the 20. He's down to the 15. He's down to the 10. He is knocked out of bounds, however, on the 14-yard line. He went to the 10, but he was knocked out on the 14 by Bobby Dillon, and Tennessee has the ball on the Texas 14-yard line. We have 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in this ball game. And it is Tennessee now on the march very definitely, and Texas battling gamely, grimly to hang on to a 1-point lead if they can. Blair Cherry sending in substitutes now to try and plug up the gaps in the line if he can. We'll give you a station break as soon as we can, but we certainly aren't going to interrupt this play right now. A great Texas team trying to hang on to a 1-point lead. Hank Loricella on the tailback. Andy Kozar into the center of the line, and he goes to the 11. Picks up 3 yards. Andy Kozar, fullback. Goes over his own left guard with Johnny Michaels running interference for him. Don Cunningham brings him down on the 11. And Tennessee is in position where they could go for a field goal. And 3 points might be as big as 6 here. 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining to be played. That ball's resting midway between the sideline stripes. Don't you turn that dial off now. Camel cigarettes do. Hope you're enjoying it. All right, it's Tennessee's ball down on the Texas 11-yard line, and Texas leads by 1 point, 14-13, with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to be played in the ball game. The ball goes back to Loricella, down to the 10. He stays on the feet. He's down to 5, the 3, the 2, the 1. He rolls into the end zone. The referee says he was stopped on the 1-yard line. It's Tennessee's ball on the Texas 1-yard line. Tennessee has the ball, first down, goal to go on the Texas 1-yard line. It's even closer than the 1-yard line. It's 2 feet away from that goal line. Tennessee's ball, they're 2 feet from the Texas goal line. Hank Loricella's the man who ran it down there. It's first down for Tennessee. And Texas digging in gamely, trying to hold on to a 1-point lead. 3 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the Cotton Bowl from Dallas, Texas. Tennessee out of the huddle very quickly. A single wing. Andy Kozar in. He piles up on the goal line, and he's got it. It's a touchdown. Tennessee's gone out in front. They've come back just the way they did against Alabama. They beat Alabama in the last minute of play, and now they've come back and they're ahead of Texas. The score is now 19-14. And in comes Pat Shires to kick the extra point. I believe I said he was the brother of their former All-American Abe Shires, and Mr. Johnson will hold. Gee, what a game. I know it sounds corny. Just happens to be a great game, that's all. Kick is up in the air, and it is good. We can take that station break. Let's pause briefly. Light up a Camel while we do it, will you? We pause briefly for station identification. They're looking for an onside kick, but they don't. They kick it right back. It's taken on the 15-yard line by Byron Townsend, Texans All-American fullback. He's up to 20, the 25, stays on his feet, and he's knocked down on the 35-yard line. So it's Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 35. And Texas is now in the exactly same position that Tennessee was. The Texans have got to come from behind to try and win their own ball game if they can. They got 65 yards to go, and they got 3 minutes to do it in. Can they do it? Texas, a team which hasn't lost a single ball game all year long except that 1-point loss to Oklahoma. And there are many people who honestly felt that this was the strongest team in the country, are now trailing Tennessee by 6 points with only 3 minutes left in the ball game. It's 20-14 from Dallas, Texas. Out to the right comes Mr. Richard Ochoa. It's Ben Tompkins back to throw. Cox's arm back. There goes a long Texas pass, and it's caught. It's completed. It's completed. Gib Dawson takes it all the way down on the Tennessee 35. Texas has the ball down on the Tennessee 35. Oh, this game is changing back and forth so quickly. Jim Cowboy Hill was the only man that could get him, and he did. He got Gib Dawson, who caught that pass. It was thrown by Ben Tompkins, who's going to get married tonight. Tennessee's asking for timeout. Ooh, this is really a game. We've got 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the game, and Texas is down on the Tennessee 35. Bubba Shands out to the right. Into the center of the line goes Byron Townsend. He's down to the 30, and he stopped on the 29. Ben Tompkins faked the pass, didn't pass. Byron Townsend went in the center of the line, and he was stopped on the 29, a gain of about 5 yards. Ted Daffer, the right guard of Tennessee, is the man who stopped him. We have 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining to be played in the Cotton Bowl, and then it's going to be history. And this really has been an exciting ball game. All right, Texas out of the huddle very quickly. They're trying very hard to win their game. Tennessee's leading 20-14, but Texas is down in Tennessee territory. And it is Ben Tompkins back to throw forward pass. Cocks his arm back, looks for his man. There goes a long pass down, and it's completed down to the 20-yard line. Tommy Stolansky takes it to the 20. He's knocked out of bounds at a 17. Tom Stolansky, right end of Texas, took a pitch from Ben Tompkins, and it's another first down for Texas. And here's the story. 1 minute and 41 seconds remaining to be played. Texas trying to come from behind to win the ball game. The score is Tennessee 20, Texas 14, but Texas is down on the Tennessee 17-yard line with a first down. Gib Dawson out to the left. It's Ben Tompkins back looking for a man to throw it to. He slips and can't find anybody. He slipped on the turf, and the ball is touched down on the 25-yard line. Time is more important than the yardage they give up. They lost, let me see, they went from the 17 to the 25, lost 8 yards on that play. Ben Tompkins just touched the ball right down. Nobody struck to stop the clock. There's only a minute and 11 seconds, a minute and 10, a minute and 9, a minute and 8. That's the biggest element of all right now. Tennessee trying desperately to stop this aerial attack that they know is coming. Score is Tennessee 20, Texas 14, and Texas is down on the Tennessee 25-yard line now with a second down and about 18 yards to go. It's Ben Tompkins back to throw a pass. He throws it, and it's completed. It is taken this time by Tom Stolansky. Stolansky gets back to the 20-yard line. Ted Daffer, the right guard, hits him down immediately. There is a fumble on the play, but I think the whistle had blown. Nevertheless, it's Texas ball down on the 20-yard line. A gain of 2 yards on that play, even though it's a completed pass. It's only 39 seconds, 38 seconds, 37 seconds, 36 seconds. Score is Tennessee 20, Texas 14, only 33 now, 32. And it is third down coming up and still 13 yards to go. It's Ben Tompkins back to pass for Texas. Looks for a man to throw it to. Finally finds a man in the clear, throws it down. I think he trapped the ball down on the ground. He didn't catch it. It was Bubba Shands. That stops the clock with 25 seconds remaining to be played. And the ball goes back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be fourth down coming up, 13 yards to go. The ball is resting on the Tennessee 20-yard line, and this is the ball game. The next play coming up. Time for one more play on Texas Park. It is fourth down, 15 yards to go. Texas ball on the Tennessee 20-yard line, and the score is Tennessee 20, Texas 14. Kentucky beat Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. And it is 13-7. That's the final score. Well, we'll have a final on this one in just a moment. Last 25 seconds to play. Ben Tompkins back to throw a pass. This can be the ball game. He isn't going to pass. He gives it to Gib Dawson. Dawson is running around the center line. He stopped on the 21-yard line. And Tennessee takes over on the 21. Tennessee takes over on their own 21. And that probably was the ball game. Tennessee takes over on their own 21-yard line, and it's Tennessee 20, Texas 14. A wide sweeping end run. Everybody thought Ben Thompson was going to throw. He didn't. He handed off to Bubba Shands, and Bubba was brought down on the 21. Frank Callahan brought him down. So it is Tennessee's ball with 17 seconds remaining to be played on their own 21-yard line. Had enough excitement? Gee, the long winning streak of Oklahoma's gone into the discard now. Kentucky knocked them off, and this Tennessee team is the team that beat Kentucky. And Kentucky today beat Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. So if that doesn't make Tennessee up near the top of the rankings, I don't know what would. Hank Larsell on the tailback. They've only got 11 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. This is the last play of the Cotton Bowl game, and Tennessee's going to be the winner. It is Andy Kozar to the center of the line. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's over! Gee, what a great win that was for Tennessee. They had to come from behind to do it. They had to do it the hard way. One time it was 14-7. Then it was so discouraging for them, 14-13. They missed an extra point, but they still had the wherewithal to come on and win it. I'm going to come back and give you a complete recap on the game in just a moment. But a gentleman who's a lot calmer and probably makes a lot more sense, Mr. Robert Vanderventer. Bob?
Thank you, Bill. I don't know I'm any calmer, but this does make sense. With smokers who know it's Camels for mildness. The millions who've been smoking Camels for years know, and those folks who join the ranks of Camel smokers every day know. And when you try Camels, you'll know, too. Yes, you'll see just how mild a cigarette can be. And say, fans, among the millions of regular Camel smokers are many, many doctors. More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette, according to a recent nationwide survey. Yes, when doctors in every branch of medicine, doctors all over the country were asked, "What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?" the brand named most was Camel. So try Camels and see just how much smoking enjoyment can be packed into one cigarette. Now again for Camels, Bill Stern.